You join, your first company you joined is, if my memory is so poor, I read about you last
my profile, right? So I start my career after graduated, right, in SVOA group of company.
SVOA.
It's a local IT company at that time. Right, you know, a part of that company, there are company that managing the printer business, right? Yeah, the distributor of the printer business, and also the computer business at that time.
So since then you have never changed to other industry.
Yes, 30 years already in this industry.
So what is the most fun part of this industry that keep you, you know, go on in this industry for a long time? And what is your characteristic that you think fit this industry the most?
Okay, so basically I love technology. Right, I'm interested in technology since I study. Even though I'm not graduated from IT-related kind of you know course, right? I graduated from the business administration, majoring in marketing. But I always took the elective course, right, on computer programming. Right, that's why, you know, I start my first career in the computer industry, and which means that what's fascinating me is technology, and also you asked about my characteristic, right? I'm the very, you know, eager to learn kind of people. You know, from 30 years ago until now, IT industry is changing very fast, especially in the past 2 years after the pandemic. It's changing a lot, right? Which means that I myself, I cannot stop learning. I have to learn myself, right? So when I understand technology, I can help my customer better, right? To use technology to solve their business problem. You know, and also IT industry is so dynamic. You know, we talk about a digital transformation or transform the business, right, for many kind of organization. IT business also need to transform, right? You know, as I said, Dell Technologies 35 years ago, we are selling hardware, you know, computers, server, and we become the IT end-to-end solution provider in the past many years, and we are look forward to be the you know, the end-to-end as a services for infrastructure as well. Yeah, so it's very dynamic.
Okay. And that keep you, you know.
Yeah, that keep me exciting every day.
Okay.
You know, I don't think I can work in the industry that maybe the pace is slower.
Yeah.
You know, IT industry pace is much faster, right? So it excites me every day.
I wrote your interview earlier, and I really impressed what you said. What brought you here? What bring you there? Something like this.
Yeah.
So
yeah, what get you here won't take you there, right? Because you know, if you enjoy with the success you have for the past many years, and you are not, you know, develop yourself further or change or challenge the status quo, you know, is the, you know, not sure that you can start from here to the future success, right? So that's why you have to be a good learner. You need to adopt a new thing. You know, you have to be dynamic yourself, and you have to continue to evolving your skill, right? So you'll be able to, you know, having a bright future. Yeah.
So Dell, as a company, has to invest in training, learning of the employees.
Yes, right. So I think this is the part of our DNA. You know, in every quarter, right? So we also having the course for our seller to learn as well, right? So they have to also evolve their skill, develop their skill as well, because there's always a new thing coming, right, in IT industry. So we need to make sure that our team member, our seller, is up to date in terms of technologies. Not just learning on the hardware, technical skill. We also having a lot of soft skill. Like in every year we have the ethics and compliance. I'm not sure you know that, you know, we've got the most ethical company award for the 7 consecutive years, right? And part of this thing, we are having a training course for our employee every year, so they have to complete this course. So they can, entitle for, the merit adjustment, right, or promotion as well. Yeah. This is kind of a basic requirement, right?
What is the biggest threat? You mentioned earlier about the opportunity, like digital transformation is happening faster. But what kinds of threat the COVID-19 has brought to the IT industry? You mentioned like chip shortage as well, supply chain disruption. Is it something that there is?
There are always opportunity and challenge, right? As I said, we've seen a lot of tragedy because of the COVID-19 pandemic in the past 2 years. Many people lost their friend and family, even myself, as I said, right? So I lost 2 of my friends as well. That is really challenge. Opportunity, because of the COVID-19, the pace of digital transformation has been accelerated. We know before the COVID-19 that there will be a digital transformation that will happen in the future, but because of the pandemic, it's shortened, right, the cycle by 3 years, which means that a lot of companies now already adopt a digital transformation. Work from home is a great example, right? Lockdown and work from home enforce people to actually having, buy more PC at home, right? From 1 PC per family, now 1 PC per person, right? Because everyone has to work from home or study from home. Is positive impact is the rise of the global PC demand. But the challenge is the chip shortage, right? Because the demand is rising in the past 2 years, but we are not preparing for a production to cope with that demand, right? For not just Dell, but every brand, everyone in the industry, face this challenge. Yeah.
So the challenge is manageable.
The challenge is manageable, right? I think Dell Technologies, we are known in the past few, what they call the decade, right? That we are a supply chain best in class kind of company. Right? So we are able to manage supply chain during this challenging situation very well. Yeah.
You mentioned that you love travel.
Yes.
And your work with Dell, your career with Dell, give them a lot of opportunity to travel as well.
Yes.
So, to which country that did you still remember the travel experience that you like the most? Maybe you can say about business trip and also your own.
Yep. So as I said, Vietnam is the biggest country in my territory, Asia emerging market, right? So which means that I spend most of my time in Vietnam, right? In the past many years, I managing Indochina before taking over the Asia emerging market, which Vietnam included. So I always spend like a weekend, right, in Vietnam as well, and I try to understand the culture of people there. So in the weekend, I even use a local bus, right, using a Google map, exploring, how to get from here to destination by using a local bus, trying the local food, and travel around, not just in Ho Chi Minh or Hanoi, but in the other provinces as well during the weekend, and I can consider that my second home. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So how often, like without COVID? How often?
Without COVID, possibly like 2 or 3 times a quarter, right, to Vietnam before.
Okay.
Yeah.
That explains how important Vietnam is for Dell in this part of the world.
Right. But after I took over Asia emerging market, I have to also travel to the other region as well. For example, in Fiji, right, it's very far away. It took me almost like 18 hours to get there.
Oh my my goodness.
Yeah, from Thailand, transit in Hong Kong. From Hong Kong, you have to go to Fiji, Iceland, and then from Fiji, you have to take a local plane, right, to the capital city, which is another side of the Iceland.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a kind of.
The nearest country to Fiji is Hong Kong.
They also are having many routes, right? Hong Kong is one route. Another route is in Singapore, right? So you can transit in Singapore as well. Yeah.
But I haven't imagined 18 hours.
Yes, yes. And another exciting moment that I have is in Mongolia. I traveled to Mongolia to visit customers and partners, and the partner is inviting me to his home, right, in the weekend, right? So he want to host me at his home. I never realized that his home is actually out of town, right? And it took me like 4 hours, right, from a bumpy road, right, because everything is off road out of Ulaanbaatar.
In the desert.
It's a step, right, kind of a field, and his house is over there. And I never realized as well that there's no internet connection in that area, so I cannot connect. I cannot, tell my family that I am out of town. So people is searching for me.
How many days?
24 hours, right? Yeah, and that is long enough, right, for us. But for me, I realized that is very good digital detox.
Oh, yeah, right.
But because nothing to do with your handphone, nothing to do with your computer, you're just exploring the nature, and exploring the area is very beautiful. And yeah, in Mongolia, is a really fascinating place, Yeah.
So those countries are for your business trip, but for your own travel, which country that you went to and you loved the most?
There are two countries that I love to have my personal trip, right? Japan is one. Because I love Japanese food, I love culture, exploring the cultures and things like that. And Japan is very near, right? So it's like 6 hours, 5-6 hours you can reach there.
Yep.
Another country I like to travel to is US.
Yes.
Because I love driving in US, right? From city to another city. My longest drive is from Las Vegas to San Francisco. It took me like 12 hours. I didn't realize that. Watching from the map is so near, right? But it took you like 12 hours to drive from Las Vegas to San Francisco. But it's very good experiences.
By yourself?
Yeah, by myself.
Oh my God.
By myself. But the longest.
You decided to drive, to have a drive, because to experience.
I want to explore, right? And experiences. Yeah, and driving in US is very exciting, right? Yeah.
When next time?
That is like 4 years ago. Yeah. And the longest trip I ever made is Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah, I went to the city named Porto Alegre, right? It is the southmost of Brazil. It took me like 40 hours travel, from Thailand, transit in Japan.
40?
Yeah, 40.
On the plane?
On the plane.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is really, tiring, right, trip, right? From Thailand to Tokyo to New York, New York to Sao Paulo, and you have to take a local flight, right, from Sao Paulo to Porto Alegre, 40 hours.
Business trip too.
That's a business trip.
Because you're not in charge of Brazil.
Yeah, that trip is mean to sharing best practices, right? In Porto Alegre, having a call center, looking after Brazil market, and also we have a manufacturing site as well in Brazil. So I went there with my boss at that time, many years back, and a few colleagues from Singapore and Malaysia. We went together and sharing a business management system, right? Exchange the best practices that we experience in our region to Latin American region. And I mean the most exciting part is the way back, because in Brazil, everyone speak Portuguese, you know, and very few of them speak English. Even on the plane, on the local plane, they actually announce everything in Portuguese. Yeah. The most exciting trip, you know, is the way back from Porto Alegre to Sao Paulo, because in Brazil everyone speak Portuguese. A few of them speak English. Even on the plane, they announce in Portuguese language, and we never know that you know, the way back from Porto Alegre to Sao Paulo, they have to transit in one city. So three of us, myself and one Malaysian and Singaporean, we didn't know. We just out from the plane and queue up in the baggage claim. And until the last baggage came out, we didn't find us, right? So that's we just curious, where is our luggage? And we went to ask someone. No one can tell us what happened because they don't understand English. So you know, they tell us to go up, right, to find some of the you know, check-in counter. There might be some English-speaking ground staff. Lucky us, right? We found one lady who can speak English. And she told us that you got off to the wrong airport. This is not your destination. You know, you have to go back to your plane immediately because it will be transit out in the next 10 minutes. So, and because we don't have boarding pass, we cannot go to the you know, the normal route. We have to go back to the way we get in. So we have to ask the security, please bring us back to, you know, to the plane with the help from those ground staff. So we can get into the plane just 5 minutes before takeoff. And we found that everyone still sit calmly in the plane, right? Only us that left the plane. Because only few passengers, right, transit out from that airport. So you know, we almost missed the flight because we have to take the flight from Sao Paulo back to New York. So it's the most exciting time that we have on travel. But you know, those kind of thing is always happen, right? And be a good memory. Be a good memory.
Wow.
Yeah.
ขออีกคำถามหนึ่ง
ครับ
ที่ต้องอ่าน You mentioned about
Yes.
Can
Yes.
you explain about that? How to be that trusted partner and what's the important?
Yes, yes. I have to share with you first, right? In the past, when we create Dell business, right? I think many people may heard about Dell direct model, right? We are cutting middleman, right? When we start up the business and selling directly to the end customer, right? But almost 15 years ago, we changed the business model. You know, we adopt the hybrid approach. You know, by start doing business with channel partners. So we creating channel business. Like in Thailand, almost 100% of our business is a channel business, right? You know, and most of the country in my region is 100% channel business. Right. So in order to change the perception, right, direct meaning that we are the competitors of our channel partner, right? You have to build trust. When you build trust, it's meaning that you have to walk the talk, right? Whatever you say, whatever you commit, you have to prove them by the action, right? You know, I think for me, the most important thing to gain trust from partners or from whoever is deliver your commitment, sincerity, respect, right? You know, and also you know, willing to support them when they have the issue. So that's how you can gain trust. Trust may not be able to gain just one day, you know, but you have to prove it day by day, month by month, year by year. Then the trust level is increasing. When you have trust, now it's easier to do business. Yeah, the business will come later. Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more about channel partner?
Channel partner meaning that instead of like me selling something to you, this is direct, right? But if I selling to one of the my reseller and the reseller is selling to you, we call this as a channel partner, right? In our system, we have distributor who distributed our product and services to a reseller, and then reseller selling to the end customer. We call this ecosystem as a channel partner ecosystem. Yes.
And Dell has this model
Yes,
in every
yes.
market.
In every market. In a bigger market, like a more mature market like US, is more hybrid, meaning that we also having a direct business and we also having a channel business. When we have two business coexist, you even need to more careful about trust, right? You know, if you break the commitment, the customer will remember, the partner will remember, you know, that you break the commitment, right? So, but in my market, as I said, almost 100% is a channel business. So I don't have that problem. But even though I have to be very careful in terms of deliver the commitment as well, not just for me, but for my team as well. So this is the most important. Yeah.